The corrosion resistance of the body is quite high. There are no particularly rotting parts here, but behold, the paint layer is thin. To date, few manufacturers can boast of high-quality body paintwork. But the BMW XZ has surpassed many in it. Even from a small pebble, a chip can appear not only in paint, but also in cataphotic soil. Therefore, when chips appear, they must be processed immediately. The windshield does not differ in durability either. There were cases when the sandblasting effect was noticeable on cars with a mileage of up to 40,000 kilometers. You can also ruin the windshield with the help of roth or worn-out wiper blades. Glass replacement will cost $150–300. The optics, like most modern cars, are plastic and soft, and if the car is used for long trips, fogging of the headlights is guaranteed. If you pay attention to this in time, the problem can be eliminated by polishing. To save yourself from this problem in future, it is enough to stick a protective film on the headlights. Diesel engines are generally reliable, but due to the long oil change interval set by manufacturer, in our realities, the timing chain and tensioner fail prematurely. On 2.0 engines, the problem is aggravated by the fact that the chain is located on the side of the box, and this significantly increases the cost of repairs. On 2.0 engines, the problem is aggravated by the fact that the chain is located on the side of the box, and this significantly increases the cost of repairs. For cars used in megacities, it is recommended to change the oil every 7–10,000 kilometers. These recommendations are due to the fact that when traveling short distance, the particulate filter does not have time to complete the self-cleaning process. With frequent unsuccessful attempts to start self-generation, the filter does not have time to burn unburned fuel, the excess of which gets into the oil and significantly reduced its quality. A hum appears with an increase in speed. A hydraulic chain tensioner, extraneous noise during cold start at idle, a turbocharger, failures during sudden acceleration. Also, among the disadvantages of diesel power units can be attributed to the small resource of the belt pulley on mounted units and the EGR valve. With frequent refueling with low-quality fuel, after 100,000 km, problems begin with fuel injectors and high-pressure fuel pumps. BMW X3 owners with gasoline inline force 20i and 28i quite often encounter premature wear of the oil pump drive. A hole appears with increasing speed. If this defect is not noticed and eliminated in time, the turbine will slowly begin to die from oil starvation, and increased oil consumption is also observed. If you neglect repairs for a long time, everything can be sadly, the engine will jam. The most successful among gasoline units is a 3.0 engine, 258 or 306 horsepower, but due to the high transport tax, such instances are not common. This leads to the penetration of processed gases into the cabin, which is not only unpleasant but also harmful to health. The BMW X3 is equipped with a 6-speed manual gearbox and an 8-speed Steptronic automatic transmission. Both boxes have established themselves as reliable and unpretentious units and rarely present unpleasant surprises. Even clutching mechanics with careful operation can last more than 150,000 kilometers. And here, the all-wheel drive system is not famous for its reliability and can surprise in the form of a dead transfer case. The transfer case is killed by both untimely maintenance and the faulty servo motor, the so-called longitudinal moment module. The failure of the servo motor leads to the continuous operation of the razdatka itself, the timing burning out, and the friction clutches. Also, the disease may be accompanied by a hum from the transmission at a speed of 50–90 km per hour. Most often, the problem manifests itself on a run of 80–100,000 km. More than $2,000 will be required to eliminate this ailment. In order to extend the service lines of the transmission and transfer case, they need to change the oil every 40–60,000 km. The BMW X3 chassis is, in fact, an improved suspension from the BMW 3 Rubble Note. At the front there is a multi-link with a double-hinged suspension strut. At the rear there is a 5-link suspension HA5, which is adapted. In general, the suspension is quite reliable and with careful operation takes care of more than 100,000 km without problems. Among the shortcomings can be noted the high cost of suspension parts. So for example, silent blocks and ball bearings are replaced as an assembly with levers, $100–150. BMW cars have always been famous for stiff suspension, and the X3 is no exception. Therefore, if you are going to buy such a car, try to find an example not with the largest wheels and without low-profile rubber. Because firstly, a car with such wheels will be even stiffer, and secondly, such cars wear out the suspension faster. When inspecting the car, you should pay attention to silent blocks of the suspension of the front levers, ball joints, stabilizer struts, backlash on the suspension arms, shock absorbers, beam mounting silent blocks. The main problem of this model is the fragility of the steering rack, mounted on the stretches in front of the engine. In automotive circles, there is even such a joke: in whatever condition and with whatever mileage you buy a BMW X3, automatically prepare to replace the rack. If the steering rack fails on the car, the cost will not be small, since even a used rack will cost at least 400 USD, you will have to pay much more for a new one. The quality of assembly and finishing materials of the BMW X3 interior, traditionally for a German manufacturer, is high quality. And here, there can be problems with electronics, malfunctions in the operation of electronic system. So many experts recommend no chasing rich equipment when choosing a used car. If the seller starts telling you that the car was mostly in the garage, do not rush to rejoice, as the BMW X3 does not like long downtime. In this mode of operation, the battery is quickly discharged, and when the charge is low, the electronics begin to fail. Also, failures in the electronics due to contamination of the contacts are possible. As for the electrical equipment, the electric drive for opening and closing the trunk most often cause trouble. The guides of the lifting mechanism fail, replacement for 600 USD. If you are the owner of this car model, please describe the problems that you had to face during the operation of the car. Perhaps it is your review that will help readers of our site when choosing a car.